The BharatPe Ashneer saga has hit the headlines once again. There are new twists and turns pretty much every day. And frankly, it's now getting quite ugly. So in the latest, BharatPe has terminated the services of the head of control, Madhuri Jain Grover, who also happens to be the wife and founder of MD Ashneer Grover. As per sources, this was in fact confirmed by the company in a statement to ET Now. Before this, Ashneer Grover has gone to a Singapore-based international arbitration court on the matter of his removal. And in anger, I suppose, his wife has put out a series of tweets today with clips of office parties that took place when she was with BharatPe and many disparaging comments on the work culture there. So it gets murkier and murkier. But let me go across first to Ankur for the latest on this story.
Yes, BharatPe has now confirmed to ET Now that Madhuri Jain, who was head of control as well as wife of founder and MD Ashneer Grover, has been fired from the company. The company says that her contract is stands terminated as per the terms and conditions. And why this has been done, what we have learned is that, remember, the preliminary report submitted by A&M had stated that there has been some wrongdoing by Madhuri Grover as well as Ashneer Grover, and that was in the hiring process where third party was hired for that. However, it was only on papers, and it is alleged that the company has borne a loss of around 10 crores due to this. And however, the final report and final findings of A&M has not been submitted yet to the board, which is still awaited, and due to that, any action on Ashneer Grover may not have been taken. That is what the sources are telling me. Now, it is eagerly waited that what board will do for Ashneer Grover, where several allegations have been made both the sides.
All right, Ganesh is joining me on the show. He's a promoter of Bigbasket, Portea Medical and Homelane. Ganesh, pleasure as always to speak with you. Your first comments really on this whole situation with Ashneer Grover, the BharatPe board. Now, you had a story in the Economic Times today about how Ashneer Grover has made allegations against Rajneesh Kumar, who is the chairman of the board in a non-executive capacity. Rajneesh Kumar then wrote a letter saying, okay, then I will resign. So it's getting murky and messy. What kind of an impact do you think this has on a space which is growing so fast, the fintech space especially?
Yeah, it is getting messy and murky, and very unfortunate that in the public, the differences of opinion and blame game is getting shared. Now, in any company, it is not abnormal that we have multiple stakeholders. There will be differences of opinion. There will be arguments. There are also chances that once segment of the people feel aggrieved, they leave the company. All of that is pretty common. What is really unfortunate here is that it is getting murkier and messier by the day. It's being done in the public, I think, and clearly we are destroying value for every stakeholder. Okay, right? Be it the employee, be it the shareholder, be it the management, be it the founders. That it's really unfortunate. Obviously, in all such cases, once things go legal, then lawyers get into advising their clients, and they start taking hardcore positions. Some of it is done for getting ahead in the negotiation, getting upper hand in negotiation, putting pressure on the other person. So we should not read too much into statements that come out from either side once things becomes messy and public. Many of it is advised by lawyers as the way to take for pushing the other person to settle. That's point number one. Point number two, I don't think we should draw any conclusion whatsoever about startup sector or company or fintech space of this. BharatPe is a great company. They provide great value. It's a household name. People and merchants use it. There is a very clear-cut business model, and the founders, the management, the board, and the shareholders all need to be complemented for an extremely successful new age business model.
The reason I'm asking this question, absolutely, you're right. No one is saying that the whole startup space has all of these problems. This is one example. You have another example, an ed tech startup Lido, which has been, a source of chatter and a topic of chatter because of the abrupt way in which they shut down overnight. Let me add to this what is happening in the equity space, where listed companies seem to have lost their sheen once investors and analysts really get to the bottom line and how much money they're making, how much they're bleeding, etc. My question is that startups a few months ago was the hottest thing, the brightest star in the sky. Is that gleam, is that sheen now dimming a bit as reality checks come in?
Yeah, in terms of the stratospheric valuations that the startups went to, new age startups, loss-making startups, things that burning money went to, those valuations are down. But tell me, that has happened with established companies, companies like Facebook, companies like Amazon, companies like Netflix have lost 50%, 40%, one third of their value at huge valuation. So it's not only, these are profit-making companies. So not just loss-making companies, not just new age companies, not just startup. The equity markets have been brutal, both in India as well as in the US markets, especially the tech stock have got hammered down. So let's not paint it with the same brush. Is those valuations valid? No, the valuations have come down drastically, more realistic level. And I do believe that this kind of sanity check, up and down corrections and cycles are very good, because if you go up and up and up without a fall, the fall also is that much steeper. So shorter corrections, quicker corrections, less of top and bottom in these corrections are always good. That is what is happening. I'm sure this will also come up. But what is concerning with many of this, either the government or the board taking swift action, trying to move on, protect the value for everybody, rather than get into a spiraling blame game, spiraling, Twitter war or social media war in the public domain. Those all distract, provide some gristmill for the media, gristmill for the social media.
No, but what it is also doing, apart from the gristmill and, all of the media, social media, what it's also doing, Mr. Ganesh, is raising the question about startup culture, which so far has been seen as in a very positive light, because founders are young. The average age, say, on the office floor is very young as compared to established companies. The chain of command and corporate structure is more flexible, and that has been seen as an advantage for companies that are more agile and can make decisions more easily. But there now seems to be a realization that there is some downside to it as well, in terms of corporate practices, a structure, that kind of maturity from leadership. And this is not the only case. You know that as well.
No, absolutely. I think whenever you see young people growing very fast without the benefit of 20, 25 years of experience or gray hair, or like in my case, lack of hair, you will have certain mistakes taking place, certain challenges of fast growth taking place. That's why you need a board, you need mentors and advisors to see how to balance out the very fast growth, young founders, lack of experience, and balance that out with certain level of maturity, systems and processes. But once again, I would say it has happened in large companies. It has happened in Uber, which was very large. It has happened in Satyam. Okay, right? So a lot of challenges have happened in companies which are established, which are large. I mean, you have seen bank defaulters fleeing out of India. These are all large listed companies. They are not startup or new age companies. So let's not take it only for startup or new companies. But yes, valuations are down compared to what it was there. One or two companies, few companies, handful of companies have had questionable practices. But remember, the startup sector is huge. There are enough unicorns out there which do not have these challenges. Therefore, trying to take one unicorn or two unicorn and say, oh my God, this is a challenge and therefore this sector gets affected, I don't agree with that. But definitely this has shown a mirror. All such incidents help us to reflect back, to see what could have been done better, what the board, what the investors need to do, what collectively all of us need to do to build a culture where these kind of situations are minimized. I think definitely there's a learning point.
No, absolutely, especially for companies who want to attract talent. Just giving people gadgets and holidays and all of that is not going to be enough. People now need to know that they have respect in the workplace, stability of jobs and stability of leadership. So there is some merit to that old world charm of corporate culture. Thank you so much, K. Ganesh, for speaking with us today on this subject.